As the world has reopened up, the things that people were starved with in the last 2 years or so is coming back stronger than ever. And one of them is live events. And today in this video, I'm going to be pulling back the curtains and showing you behind the scenes to the same exact framework that we use to run multi-million-dollar events, where the room doesn't need to be crazy big. How can you have a small room and extract large profits, even if you're new, even if you're shy, even if you're introverted, or even if you've never done an event before? How is it possible to be able to have close to 80% of the room lining up in front, applying to work with you, where you get to be in the position to decide if you want to be able to take them on as a client for your high ticket, for your mastermind, for your done for you, for your consulting? How does that even work? Okay, it's basically a 5-step process, and if you stay to the end of this video, you'll be able to see the exact footage and the exact methods that we've been utilizing in order to get and close our ideal clients utilizing events. Let's begin. And by the way, if you want to get truly good at closing high ticket in the masses, be sure to smash the like button and subscribe to this channel for more videos just like this one. Alright, let's begin. So it's a 5-step process. So step number 1, if you want to be able to execute this 5-step process well, is all about selling the tickets. When I say selling the tickets, this ticket doesn't need to necessarily cost money. In this specific example, this was an event that I put out for free. So think of it as kind of like a webinar, but the difference is it's an in-person event. We ran ads to this specific event. We got people to register through the sales process. And after somebody registers, you want to be able to expect to pay approximately double of how much a webinar registrant would typically cost. And the reason for this is because it's a bigger ask. You're asking somebody to show up in person to a physical event. And that's why typically your cost per lead or cost per registrant will be double of what you would typically pay for a webinar. And that brings us to step number 2. Step number 2 is all about getting them to show up. For this specific event, we got about 58% of people showing up for this event, coming into this physical room, and this, you can achieve this number with a good SMS and text and follow-up sequence via email. And you might notice, even in the funnel, we have a little checkbox that says, yes, I would love to be able to get notified, right? Remind me of this event. And typically, just by having this additional field where people can add in their phone number, we get approximately 63% of people that also put in their phone numbers. And we all know that the open rate on a text is significantly higher than email. So this is a hack that can help you increase your registrations as well as your show up rate. So this event, we got a really good show up rate, and now again people are hungry and people want to be able to come back to live events again. So this is how you get people to show up. That brings us to step number 3. Step number 3 is, well, how do you fulfill this event? You see, once people show up to this event, once you sell the tickets, so at this event, I sold a full-fledged 3-day training. And the question is, well, how do you fulfill this event, right? What should you teach? Now, most of the time, if you want to be able to create a life-changing experience, I always say it's not about the tactics. It is all because tactics can be found on a YouTube video, it can be found on a Google search. The number 1 criticism on why people always say, like, why would you want to invest in training or a course or workshop when you can get information on YouTube for free, just like this video over here, right? People will invest in your products, programs, or services when you can have the stuff that is beyond information. Now, think of it as kind of like, would you agree that if you had a personal trainer that helped you while you were working out, that gave you feedback and pushed you and motivated you and kept you accountable, that chances are it will increase your odds of succeeding and getting faster results in less time? While this coach may not necessarily be able to assure you 100% chance of succeeding, this coach will be able to maximize your odds of success. So when I think about executing this and fulfilling this event, I'm thinking about the same thing, right? You want to think about, well, what can I do for my audience that's beyond information? How can I include the accountability, the customization, the feedback? Is it access to a specific group of people? Can I give them access to suppliers, vendors, the people in network? Can I put them in a community of like-minded people so that they would be inspired and motivated during this journey? Can I give them the scripts that's already done for you, where it's just plug and play, the templates, the tools, right? Will I be able to give them in person or something that is customized uniquely to their situation? So that's how I think about executing the fulfilling event and what to teach. So it's not just about what to teach, it's all something that's much higher than just the tactical stuff. Is basically the stuff that's transformational. How do you truly make an offer that's transformational when you can include the stuff that changes their mindset and their beliefs and literally how your audience is wired about the thing? So what makes a great execution of your event is when you can change who they are and how they think about the thing rather than just the tactical stuff, because if you are just focused on tactical stuff, that is when you will be replaced by a search engine like Google or a YouTube video. And that is when that brings us to step number 4. Step number 4 is all about executing the upsell. So when a person comes to your main core offer or your event, and by the way, when I say event, this could be a virtual event, this could be something that takes place on Zoom. This example here, I'm showing you a live event that we recently did, but this is where you want to be able to execute your upsell. And this is where you want to be able to get people to apply, and you want to be able to mention what your offer is and get people to raise their hand and say, hey, you know what? I would love to be able to discover if we might be a right fit for each other. So how do you execute this upsell? Well, if you want to be able to execute and have people apply to work with you, where you get to decide if you want to take them on as a client, all you got to do, here's the most important factors that you want to consider. Number 1, always disqualify. Mention who it's for and who it's not for. Okay, so I always mention who it's not for. Why? Because the last thing you want to do is just take on everybody and end up taking on nightmare clients. So what you want to also do in order to disqualify is mention your price points. So at the very least, you could say, working with us isn't cheap, prices begins at. Right, so if somebody applies, now if it's in person, as you can see here from this video, this is when people are filling up a form, right? They're coming in front, they're applying. Is everybody a good fit? No, but it shows intention. Next one is if it's an online event, this is when you get people to an application page where they fill up a form, and ultimately this is where they schedule a call. And this is the core difference. Notice what I said, schedule a call rather than you calling them. Now, what's the biggest fundamental difference, even though it seems like it's just a small thing? Everything. It's the positioning, it's the psychology. If you are calling them as the result of them filling up a form, ultimately the power belongs to the person that's picking up the call, right? Think about the last time you picked up a call from somebody and what was the feeling associated to it? When you saw this random number calling you, chances are you felt like the instant knee-jerk reaction is, I'm busy, right? What do you want? Guess what? That's what your audience is thinking as well. However, if they schedule a call with you and you met up with them on a call that's mutually agreed upon, the difference is positioning. The positioning now would be, how can I help you? The difference now would be, let's see if we might be the right fit for each other. Let's see where you're at and where you want to be, and we'll determine if we might be the right fit for each other. So if you want to be able to sell something that's high ticket, 10,000, 15,000, 30,000, 100,000, the application process is what works best. And finally, step number 5 is all about repurposing this event. How can you take this event, whether it's virtual, whether it's in person, and then utilize the assets? Think about the assets that can be created over and over again. Can parts of these moments be turned into a reel on Instagram? Can part of these moments be turned into ads? Can I create a sizzle reel that looks amazing from this entire event? Can I collect testimonials and utilize it as social proof? At the end of the event, notice one of the things that I did over here is I got people to let me know what they think about the event, and we got like 100 different comments and testimonials at the event itself, right? So what I'm also thinking is, how can I take the stuff that I just did and turn it into a marketing asset that works for me forever? And if you follow these 5 steps, this is how you'll be able to fuel this entire thing into this marketing machine that helps you get more and more of your ideal clients. I hope this helps. Let me know in the comments below what your biggest takeaway is. And as always, be sure to smash the like button if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe to this channel if you want to be able to discover how to close high ticket clients and your ideal clients in the masses. I'll see you in the next video.